What's up guys, PitMyShed here, and today I'm gonna do a No Man's Sky, kind of what it's all about, and talking you through the very first stages of what you've got to do and stuff like that, because this game's been kind of elusive in the sense that it's, not a lot of people know what it's about. People might still be on the fence, whether to get it or not and stuff like that. So I'm going to try and talk within 15 minutes about this and stuff like that. So what is it? What is No Man's Sky? No Man's Sky is, I suppose it's kind of like an adventure game, a survival game, and also kind of got a little bit of crafting in there. But I don't like using that word crafting because then automatically everyone thinks and goes to Minecraft, when it's really not like Minecraft. I don't think it's very fair to pigeonhole every game that's got the word craft in it to throw it in there with Minecraft. 7 Days to Die is very different as well. So you don't know what you are, you don't know what your character is, you don't know what your character looks like. The only way to see what your character looks like is to bump into somebody else in the world. There's about a 1% chance of that happening, because the world has got like 80 quintillion stars, that every star you can visit, which is mental, but I'll show you more about that later. So what you do is you randomly spawn on a planet. You've crashed on this planet, you turn around and your ship's a wreck. This isn't the ship I started with, but your ship's an absolute wreck. You've got to repair your ship by getting materials from around the world, such as carbon, which you get from plants. So you've got to mine them for carbon, and I've just got some carbon there. You can get iron from rocks, calcium, all sorts of stuff like that. You can also use your gun to have a secondary weapon, which is a bolt caster, which is if you are in combat with any aliens or robots or drones or anything like that. I'm actually quite surprised with the amount of stuff there is to do in this game. Me and my mate Sean were playing it. We're both having very different experiences, which is brilliant. I mean, nobody's going to have the same experience. And oddly enough, I've been to about 20 planets now, and not one of them's been the same. All the worlds are procedurally generated. So you've basically fixed your ship. You don't have to leave your first planet that you spawn on. You can stay on that planet, and resource it and get all the resources, and level up your ship and build stuff and get blueprints and stuff like that. But the planet I started on was like a heavily sun planet, so I had to get off there pretty quick because it wasn't very fun, because I was getting radiation damage and stuff like that. There are planets that are entirely water, that have water life and sea life on there, and plant life and animals that just live in the water. It's unbelievable, like the amount of the size of the game. You can also name stuff. Anything you by clicking L2 in, you can analyze stuff, and I can rename this plant that I've just discovered. It gives itself a name, but then you can call it planted. We'll call it planted. Upload that to the database so everyone else. So if anyone else ever comes to this planet and looks at that planet, they'll know that it's called whatever I called it, planted. There's a very high unlikely chance of that happening. You can find buildings and stuff like that that are inhabited by aliens. You can pick up blueprints and stuff like that. The main source of the game is your spaceship. That's your multi-tool, which is basically your mining tool, and your you can analyze animals and plants, and you can also use it as a gun. You can find these randomly in space stations, and you can decide whether to take them or not. And you've also got, I'll do this inside because we're on a snowy planet and it's very cold. But you've got this. You can all the guns come in different shapes and sizes. I haven't seen the same gun that looks twice yet. Looks the same twice. You've got an exosuit which has a jetpack, a life support system which I've upgraded so I don't have to refuel it as much. I've got an underwater breathing apparatus that I just built yesterday, and my suit is just the standard suit that I started with. Then you've got your elements. This is the kind of, you've got your red elements. Some of these are from the periodic table, some of them are completely made up. You've got zinc, iron, and you need these to craft. So if you go into an empty slot and you want to install technology, you press X to install different shields, shield upgrades, run it sprint upgrades. You can upgrade your jetpack, or you can go into crafting, which you can craft items such as a warp cell, which you need to get hyperdrive. When you fix your ship, you don't actually, all you have the ability to do is fly around the planet and in that star system. You don't have the ability to do a light speed jump into another star system, because you need to get a hyperdrive. So when you find a hyperdrive, you can access the ship menu without getting in the ship, by the way. You get a hyperdrive, and then you need to fuel that hyperdrive. I've actually upgraded my hyperdrive so I can jump 4 star systems instead of just the bog standard 1 that you start with, and then you can make star jumps. But like I say, it's your game. You know, there was a Reddit uploader or some sort of YouTuber that uploaded and said that he got himself an early copy of the game. It cost about £13,000, and he claims that you can get to the centre of the universe within 30 hours, and that's just blatantly rushing to the centre of the universe. I seriously doubt that that's even possible, because I've been kind of blindly rushing to get to the centre of the universe as well. But there's so much that distracts you. When you're on a planet and in your ship, if you click in the left trigger, you do a ping, and it tells you anything that's worth going to visit on the planet or in space or anything like that. You can do it in space as well. So you can either just cruise around the planet and mine, search for animals, make new discoveries. There's all sorts of different cave routes and stuff like that you can go to. There's something over there with the question mark. But all these rocks and stuff you can discover yourself. Nobody else will discover this. That is a unique rock to this game, which blows my mind in a way. It really does. If you want to craft and stuff like that, you've got to get iron. If you come up to these big beams, I think that looks like copper. I know it's nickel. Any green items are really rare, so you can go to these and go to the space station and then sell them. We'll actually try and go to the space station and show you that quickly. So that's pretty much, there's loads to do on a planet. You can go to temples, you can learn languages. There's different alien races, and when you help an alien and you sell them, or they'll ask you a question, you don't understand their language totally, so you've got to understand their language. So helping them, you can unlock a word and translate that into English. There's a space station in every star system, it seems, and the space stations so far all look the same. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold. I haven't uploaded a video for a while either, guys, because I've been on holiday for about a week. But there's 3 different trees that you can do. You can actually, when you go, I'll show you later on the star map. I'll probably talk about that when I get to the star map. But for now, we'll just show you this quickly, because I can only do a 15-minute video because I'm recording from my PlayStation. So this is the space station that you'll go to trade items with other travellers. There's a guy coming in there now, and when you're parked up in the space station, like new spaceships will come in, almost frequently, with new aliens and stuff to talk to. So you can either talk to him, and he'll ask you a question, or give you a puzzle. You do the puzzle right, I'll give you an item. This is where you can buy and sell stuff from the terminal. You can sell stuff from my inventory, which I've got to do because I've got some stuff in there that I need to sell. Artifacts. These artifacts are very high in price. The currency is units, so we just made some money there. We can buy off them as well. We can buy stuff that we need. You can get key cards that you need to craft by visiting Atlas points, and they unlock higher doors, so you can get better loot and stuff like that. So I've just achieved a milestone. So that's just me earning some money. So like I say, I actually found this ship when I pinged the Earth. It came up with a distress signal, and I went to the distress signal, and it was a ship. I had to ditch my ship that I fixed, because you start off with a little tiny ship, and then I fixed this ship up and built a hyperdrive and did the whole same thing, the whole process again, just so I could get off that planet. It's bigger, it's got bigger inventory slots. There are a few better ones out there. Well, let's have a quick look at these now. And you do see the kind of same ship now and again, but they've got a slight variation, but there is a lot of ones that I'm still seeing, totally new ships. And you can actually put an offer in to buy the person's ship, so we'll see how much this ship is, and it comes up with a price there, 800,000. I can't afford it. Some of them are like millions, but it's got 19 slots of inventory, which is more than mine. It's got the stats of the ship there. You can compare your ship if you're interested in buying it. You can have a look at your stats and compare it to that stats. And there's all sorts of, like, you know, there's a ship there. I mean, they look exactly the same, pretty much, which is kind of embarrassing. But there's a lot of new ships. There's a lot of ships, different ships that come in. I mean, it'd be cool if you could build your own. But there's a lot of variations to that one. There's loads of stuff to do on the when you're pinging the planet. Sometimes you can find like I say, a distress signal, or there'll be a space battle going on, or there'll be some sort of like space war going on. You can name planets, you can name star systems and stuff like that. You can fight in space, you can mine in space. You can fly to anything. It tells you how long you're going to get there. You've got hyperdrive, and then if you have got enough stuff in your hyperdrive tank, you can make a speed jump, or a light speed jump, whatever you want to call it, and you press down on the D-pad. And this is where it gets really interesting, and this is the bit that blows my mind, because this is where you've got almost 3 or 4 skill trees that you can go. You can either play the game as it's meant to be played and go towards the galaxy. I can jump 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Wow, 5. 6? Oh my god. I can jump 6 space, so far 6 planet systems, or I can go to the free exploration, which means I can go to any planet, any star system. Sometimes you will encounter this space station where you can go in and they can give you a shortcut to the centre of the galaxy, which means you'll get a separate direction to a black hole. And you can go to the black hole and then you'll spawn somewhere closer in the galaxy and stuff like that. Or you can just set your own waypoint, and you can go to these Atlas stations, which will give you a big massive red gem that you can sell for like a really high price of cash, and you can learn some like alien technology and stuff like that. But just to show you how big the universe is, I mean, this is our planet that we're on now, our star system, sorry. When you pull out and zoom out, you bear in mind you can visit any planet. You can highlight any of these stars and you can click on them, and they're a system, and they've got, you know, that one's got 5 planets, that one's got 4 planets, that one's got 3 planets, 2 moons. You get the picture. So we'll go back home to where we are, and if we just deselect it and then zoom out, so that's us there, this is how big the game is. And bear in mind, you know, I'm not just, you know, freezing or anything. You can pick any star. You know, we'll go into this one here, we'll pick that one. 3 planets, 2 moons. And that just gives you a scale of how big the game is. I mean, it blows your mind, it really is. And there's a lot more to do than I thought there would be. I'm really still playing it, and I'm going to try and get to the centre of the galaxy. We're actually trying to meet up in the centre of the galaxy and then go and try and explore the galaxy together. So that was No Man's Sky, the best I could describe it in 15 minutes, guys. I hope this has helped in anyone who's kind of on the fence and buying it and stuff like that. Probably going to stream it over the weekend at some point. Did try and stream it the other day, but it all went a bit wrong. So this has been Pimp My Shed. playing No Man's Sky. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you again for another video.